Hey guys, next video here is to describe how we go about our weekly maintenance with any of our DTF machines. The maintenance for all DTF machines are exactly the same. So what we want to do with this particular one, you now know how to do the daily maintenance. Now when you put that head across, in the daily maintenance we did mention about keeping the wiper blade clean, keeping the cap top seals nice and clean. This is also a part of your weekly maintenance. Also, I like to be able to also just clean the whole capping station top here. It just keeps it nice and clean. I just like it to be like that. Now the second part of the weekly maintenance that's not in the daily maintenance is we actually need to clean the underside of the manifold here where the heads are. Now the important thing is when I say we clean the underside of the manifold, we are cleaning the underside of the metal part only, but we are not touching the heads. We would only even think about touching the heads if we had an issue where we really needed to probably clean it if we're having a really bad nozzle result, but to be honest, you probably want to consult with us first before you touch the heads. So it is very important that you don't touch the heads. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to move the print head over to the far left area, as you can see what we're doing here now. Okay, so we're now we've moved the head over to the left side of the printer. And as we say, we are going to clean the underside of the carriage. Now obviously we needed to go over to the left side because underneath these covers is an area we can put our hand all the way underneath the cover. So there's a couple of ways we can do this, and probably the easiest way to do it is if we actually turn, once we got our head over that side of the room, or that side of the printer, we can then turn it off. By turning it off, it actually allows us to freely move the carriage. So it makes it a little easier when we're cleaning to move it to exactly where you want it to move the carriage for cleaning. It's a lot more easier than doing it by hand, having to go backwards and forwards. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use some of the blue solution, which is the heavy duty print head cleaner, and then we're going to get a nice wet rag of the solution, and we're just going to be cleaning in amongst around the heads, but we're not going to be touching the heads. All we're doing is we're concentrating on cleaning this plate. And the reason why this is so important is because if we don't keep this clean during the wiper or during the cleaning process, the wiper blade will actually comes up and it actually scrapes away the excess ink during an ink cleaning cycle. If we have during that process, over time we'll get a build-up of ink on the bottom of this manifold. So we want to make sure that's nice and clean, otherwise that wiper blade during the cleaning process will actually scrape some of the ink, the hard ink, the dried ink from the manifold into the head, and obviously we don't want to be scraping any sort of dried ink or bits and pieces into the head. So it's important that you do this. If you leave it too long, it can be a problem, and we need to then actually drop out the bottom plate and probably scrape it with a razor blade, etc. So it can be a little more tedious if you don't do it regularly enough. So I say to do this a minimum of once a week. If you can do it twice a week, it's only a 5-minute job, and it'll make for a lot cleaner and nicer printing for a lot longer.